This is a JTP Audio podcast.
Welcome back to Flight in a Pint, podcast where we go to the breweries and check out not only the beer, but the people who make beer happen. My name is Jason Portizo.
I'm Walter Wilson.
Today we are at Neshaminy Creek. We've been looking forward to this episode. Walter, this is one of your favorite places.
It is.
Love it.
We got Alyson, my manager here. You are the Taproom Manager.
Sure am.
So tell me about who you are, what you do, where we're at. Give me the, how do we get to this point?
Okay, cool. I'm the Taproom Manager here at Neshaminy Creek. I manage the taproom here in Croydon. This is our original location, our brewery, our main brewing and only brewing location here in Croydon, PA. We were opened June 1st, 2012. It was founded in 2010, but licensing and things like that took almost 2 years to get. So the doors officially opened June 1st, 2012. I took over as Taproom Manager this past January, January 2020. And throughout 2020, we actually acquired New Hope Taproom. So I also run that taproom as well. I oversee both. And that's about it from my side.
Cool.
But if you want more brewery history, I can give that to you too.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Cool. So Neshaminy Creek was founded in 2010 by three guys. Their names are Rob John, Jeremy Myers. It was really like his idea, I guess you could say. And then Steve Capelli. Steve Capelli happens to be my husband. But that's the last time I'll mention that. He won't like that I'm mentioning that.
We won't claim nepotism or anything.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Exactly. So they founded the brewery in 2010, opened the doors 2012. When they first opened, the Brew House was just like a single brew house. There was, oh my gosh, we saw a picture the other day. There was maybe 3 fermenters. And throughout the years, it's continued to grow and grow and grow. When we first opened, there was no tap room. There was actually just a gift shop over here with like a tasting room. They would let people taste things. You'd come in, have taste. You could buy beer to go, growlers, things like that. Over the years, they expanded into a full-size tap room. And then not only did the brewery expand by adding many, many fermenters, which we started with maybe 3, we're up to 30 now, which is insane.
That's a lot.
Yeah. We expanded into the side warehouse next to our building as well. I'll take you for a walk back there. But we acquired all that space back there too, so we could have a proper warehouse to store cans, things like that. And then on top of that, we, I believe it was winter 2018, we expanded our brew house. So we actually have a double brew house, or a brew house now that's capable of doing 2 brews at a time. It used to only be capable of 1, which is a huge advantage. As anybody knows, like brewing, let's say a 30 or a 15 barrel fermenter of Sheba hops, like each brew only fills a 15 only fills it halfway. So for a 30 fermenter, they have to do 8 brews, and those brews take 8 hours. So yeah, it takes a really long time to fill 1 fermenter. So being able to do 2 brews at a time helps us be able to do larger volume.
Now, you got a lot of room here. Do you have a barrel aging system or setup going on?
Yeah, we do. I'll share that to you later, but we have some barrels in the back. Lots of things that have been aging a long time, but we do have the barrels. We've actually just sort of always did it as like a side thing until about last year when we actually appointed somebody to be actually in charge of them. It was sort of like we'll do some barrel aging here and there, but now it's like a dedicated thing. And actually, the first beer we're going to taste tonight is from our Creek Reserve Club. Creek Reserve Club was a special barrel aging and also just reserve beer club that we did. We usually do it, but for this year, this beer, it's a Berliner Weiss, but because it has a shorter shelf life, we had to release the rest of it to the public. But a lot of the other beers that are coming out for our Creek Reserve Club are barrel-aged beers that are coming from those barrels in the back.
Now, Creek Reserve, is that the name for your barrel-aged system or line?
Well, it was kind of like their club, so you paid like a fee,
Okay.
And then you're guaranteed so many beers throughout the year, and they're very special beers. They're like the best of the best of the best that we make. Every beer that's come out from the Creek Reserve Club this year, I think every member would agree it's like the best of the best. A lot of it's super delicious barrel-aged stuff. Some isn't, but a lot of it is blended. Very special like adjuncts, like mulatto peppers and things like that. And then our barrel, we used to release like a barrel-aged Punkless and a barrel-aged Leon, but we just haven't done it in a little while because we're actually trying to cultivate and sort of reinvent our barrel aging program right now so that we can stay a little bit more on top of it, have somebody that's really dedicated to doing it, and then be able to put forth better barrel-aged products.
And how does someone get to join this club?
The registration opened last year, I believe in November. So like November and December, people had to register up through January. And then we actually had an opening like kickoff party. And everybody from the club got to come here. We did like a private party. We tapped all these rare beers. They got their first releases. They got special glasses. They got shirts. They got a privately catered party. It was really fun.
Definitely sounds like a club I want to join.
Yeah, seriously. It's awesome.
So why don't we taste the first beer that came from that?
That's the Callahan?
Yeah, so this is Callahan. It's a Berliner Weiss style ale. It's conditioned on Tahitian lime and tangerine. You're going to taste a margarita in a glass, basically.
Yep. As soon as you said that, that's exactly what the flavor
That's exactly what that is, yeah. Yep. Even it's not quite a salt, but there's like, it's almost like a goes there. There's like a little bit of salt tinge in there.
Really easy drinking.
Yeah, that's a crushable.
Yeah.
That's really good.
We love it. Thank you.
Yeah, that lime really brings that out too.
Right? I know. I was like, man, in the summer I would be like crushing these, maybe throw a little tequila in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
I'm not above it.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's so
So
good.
one thing we were talking about when we came in here, and actually on the way, and you know, every time Walter visits, and the one time I was here, your artwork on the walls.
Yeah.
First of all, awesome.
Thank you.
And not only since you promised to take us for a little tour, the artwork on the walls, anything we see on the tour, we're going to take pictures of all of that, put it on our Instagram, which is @FlightInAPint. Give us a follow on there, check out everything that we see.
Love it.
Tell me about the artwork. Who does it?
JP Flexner.
JP Flexner.
Yeah, he's been with us since day one. He's a huge part of our brand, a huge part of our beer. He's been with us since day one. He actually was good friends with Jeremy, our one founder, through the music scene. So Jeremy also owns a record label called Jumpstart Records. So that's also why we're kind of tied into the punk scene, also kind of tied into music. A lot of people have come here for not big, but bigger punk shows, and actually some like a little bit more hardcore shows as well, like Municipal Waste and things like that. So JP is our artist. He's also a musician as well, but super talented artist. I don't know how else to say it, but he just always finds a way of putting our personality into the beer and the artwork and creating like that fun punk, like just kind of do your own thing. We're here for the good beer, but we're also here to have a good time.
Is he doing your can designs too?
Yeah. Every single one.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that same style in there.
Yeah, I like the little the circular creatures that only have arms and mouths and eyes. I've seen them on a couple of cans, and I think they're great.
Yeah, it's cool, right? And then like
those like ping pong eyeballs are like dead giveaway. Like every character is like half Kermit the Frog. It's like
we actually, this is like a funny, I don't know if this is funny or not, but we actually have a story. Somebody once reached out to us and was like angry because he was like, your beer looks like soda and my child wants to drink it. Oh. They were like, your beer is too much fun, so chill out the fun.
Right, relax.
Yeah, but we're like, okay. But actually that dog up there on the wall, Scarlet, that's one of our dear friend Paul, a friend of ours, a friend of the founders, Paul, that they used to work with, big beer fan, just big fan and friend of us here. His dog Scarlet was a Great Dane that was a friend of the brewery.
Nice.
And she did pass away a couple years ago, but she's forever immortalized on our wall, and we love her.
We'll get a picture of Scarlet on the Instagram
Yes.
also.
You had mentioned a couple of shows here. I was lucky enough to come in December of this past year and see a ska show. I think it might have been the Pie Tasters around Christmas. It was a great time.
I love Pie Tasters.
Oh,
yeah. Big D and the Kids Stable, and Pie Tasters were awesome.
Or again, like real ska bands.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And right now it's probably, tough to think about doing things like that because you don't really know a timeline as to when you could do it again because of COVID. But I'm definitely looking forward to coming back for a show.
Awesome. We're happy. We're so looking forward to having you back.
And when you do, call me.
Absolutely. I mean, our
If you
anniversary.
need another sound guy.
Absolutely. We had an amazing anniversary show lined up, and unfortunately, because of COVID, we couldn't. But you know what? We'll be back next year, hopefully, and then if not, the year after, we're going to keep it going.
I'll leave a copy of my resume also on the Instagram.
Yeah.
It's at Flight in a Pint /hire me.
I love it.
Let's talk about the number 2 beer.
Cool. This is our Churchville Lager, Vienna style lager. So Churchville was our first, I guess, like blip on the map. Not blip on the maps. Our first claim on the map. So in 2013, we won gold medal at Great American Beer Festival for this Vienna lager. Cool fact is, I don't know if you know this about GABF. I'm going to nerd out right now, but GABF doesn't just give out, like, if there's 67 entries and they give a gold, silver, and bronze, they won't give a gold if they don't think the beers deserve it of a gold.
Okay.
So you have to not only earn the gold, like, yeah, they have to make sure that it's worthy of a gold medal. In 2016, we then won bronze for the same beer, and it's a really difficult category to win. I mean, Vienna Lager, there's many entries.
That's pretty much like Beer 101.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really difficult to win twice. So we're really proud of this beer. It's going to be like roasty and toasty, kind of like toasted bread, but it also still finishes really clean, crisp on your tongue, so it's not going to be like overly sweet. You still get that dry finish on your tongue, easy drinking, just like your most comfort feeling lager that you would ever want to drink.
It is definitely bready, and you know what? It is crisp and clean. I'm not getting any kind of like lingering aftertaste. It's there and it's done.
Yep. It's a very beery kind of beer, and I almost feel bad like not having anything like more to say about it, but like it's just like it's clean. It is exactly what it's setting out to be.
Absolutely. Churchville Lager, also another fun fact. Lagers take a lot longer to make than ales. I'm sure a lot of people know this, some people might not. Churchville Lager takes 6 to 8 weeks to make. So this beer is put to rest for quite some time so it can like chill out. That's what it does in the lagering tanks. We actually have lagering tanks. But yeah, it's sort of a special thing that we actually get to take our time with our lagers and give it the time that it needs to rest so that you can get that delicious, crisp, clean flavor.
Yeah, sometimes with the smaller brewers, they don't have a lot of room or time to do lagers, so it's a good thing that you have all the space.
Yeah, agreed. We call ourselves Lager City because we love lagers, and yeah, proud of it.
Besides being the tap manager, what else do you do?
I also run our social media, actually. So I run all of our social media, especially Instagram, Facebook, obviously. That's the big bulk of it. But yeah, I kind of took that over during COVID, and it just kind of rolled off from there. But it's definitely been an interesting job taking over and getting like acclimated to that. I don't know. Social media is an interesting world.
Especially during COVID, when like, you know, you're limited in the tap room and you're limited on premises. So like, the only experience that most people can have here is through your Instagram.
Totally.
So, how have you overcome some of the challenges that? Because every brewery agrees, and is also going all in on their Instagrams and things like that. Everyone we've talked to so far, there's Instagram is where they live now.
Totally.
And like, so how do you make yourself stand out?
I will say that during COVID, I will just mention this, when everything shut down, we launched our delivery system. So we now deliver beer, which we never did before because of distribution. And also we just never had a platform that we could do it on. The platform that we joined is called Beer Me. It's a free platform for breweries. We've actually worked really closely with the founder. He's amazing. And his name's Brian. He listened to everything that we needed and just like created this amazing app like overnight. And it was insane that he was able to create that. He was actually just featured in Craft Beer and Brewing magazine for his work and how quickly he was able to get that up and running, and now is nationally recognized, which is...
I was going to say, I heard of it.
Yeah, it's so wild to me. Like now when you sign on to his page, it just shows you all the things that have written him up and how fast his app has grown. And he's awesome. I can't say thank you enough to him, because without delivery, we would have not been able to stay afloat the way that we were able to by delivering beer. It was kind of crazy because we did have to like shut down a little bit, but you know, it's kind of like a grassroots kind of thing. Like, I don't know, everybody just started taking over like what they had to do. Everybody just did what they had to do. People that didn't want to come in, that's cool, you stay home. Everybody else that was here, like we do what we have to do. We get it done, and it just felt kind of awesome to kind of band together as like a team like that and like just start doing things that you would never do, like social media for me. And then I started doing it, and I actually really enjoyed it. So, segueing into the Instagram, Instagram and Facebook are kind of hard because a lot of it is also like pictures, especially with Instagram. You have to have like the best pictures, always. And so definitely setting aside time to like cultivate and make sure that the beer looks good. I mean, you don't want to drink it if it doesn't look good. Right. So yeah, you want it to look good, you want it to taste good, but I think like eventually people would find out if the beer didn't taste good that you were taking good pictures of. But but so yeah, it's like standing behind your brand, knowing your brand, and I think like today's day and age, authenticity is the most important. People want to know who you are, and why, I don't know, just what makes you tick. Who you are is more important than like, I don't know, maybe the best beer out there. And the best beer out there is definitely still important, but being authentically you at all times and making sure that the Instagram, the social media is authentically us as a team is definitely my goal and has been my goal. We started making some silly videos too, and then they actually started getting like attention too. People were like, oh man, I love that video that you did, that weird one. So
people care about the team, and they care about the people. They want to connect with the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having a great product is fine. There's a ton of people with a great product, but like, you know, and just that's kind of what we do on this show too, where like, yeah, the beer's great. I assume the beer's going to be great. We want to know about everything else behind it.
Absolutely.
And people have been connecting with that and really, really gravitating towards that. And I love that has been a common experience for everybody, where the more you lift the veil and kind of show the people behind everything, the more people are going to connect with you, not only as a brand, but as a product as well.
Absolutely. We've actually just started doing these like little features of our staff, like meet the staff, different people. We just did one on JP.
Love it.
Yeah, like our controller. And some of these people you would never see because like Caressa, our controller, is like our accountant basically. I mean, most people aren't going to see her, you know, but she's such an integral part of our business and she's such an integral part of our team. And so like being able to see that and what she does for us, we would fall apart without her. We have to, you know what I mean? So that was cool.
Regarding your distribution, what kind of range do you have on distribution?
We actually distribute throughout Jersey, all of Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware. And we actually are technically in New York, but we don't actively distribute up there.
Okay.
So yeah, the whole state of PA, which is very big, as we know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all of Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard from where I'm at in Jersey to get all my favorite Neshaminy Creek beers, but I do see one or two on shelf in just about every store, so it's pretty good that you get out all the way out there for us.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, that's just normal distribution. You know,
I mean, yeah. Well, normally, sometimes, you know, we can't have people distribute to New Jersey or ship to New Jersey. So there's a lot of restrictions, especially on that state. Probably a couple others that, you know, I might not be that close to.
Oh, yeah, totally. There's actually like some... I don't want to get into it, but there is some interesting rulings with us and shipping beer as well in PA. So because of distribution, things like that, I don't think we're allowed to ship across state lines anyway. And then on top of that, it's like shipping in PA becomes weird. And so that's why we've only done delivery, and it's a very like limited radius,
Sure.
And then our distribution.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it on the way here because we've got some really interesting bottles that we'd love to share and trade with people, and we can't, so we just drink them.
Oh, well, more for you, less for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to get more for me.
Yeah.
Let's on number 3.
All right, number 3, we've got Three-Sided Die.
Every beer place has to have their nerd reference.
Yeah. So we brewed this beer. We started doing like this launch this year. It was actually my push because of hazies being such a huge part of the market right now, people wanting hazy IPAs. So we want to offer a lot of taproom exclusive beers so that people want to come see us and visit us here. And then also this beer being something that a lot of times people don't like West Coast IPAs because they're maybe too bitter for them, like as an entryway beer. But a hazy is going to be a little bit less bitter, a little sweeter, a little bit more round, a little citrusy. So it's kind of like the gateway IPA. So
it does remind me a lot of a West Coast. That's my favorite IPA is West Coast IPAs. But this is very good for a hazy.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. It's still got a little bit of that bitter bite there, but it's not like punching me in the face like most West Coast do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's definitely the... so this is our New England offering that we most recently released. We also do our Shape of Haze series, which is super famous. I actually have Cryo in the back. I'll grab that for us. So our Shape of Haze series is like I don't want to say our flagship hazy series, but it kind of is. That one goes out to distribution. We did Tropical this summer. Before that, so Tropical had coconut and, what am I saying? Yeah, passion fruit and coconut. And then before that we did Hazy John this year as our one hazy offering. But next year, so January is going to be Pineapple Shape of Haze. That beer has a crazy following. It's unreal.
Nice.
Pineapple start the year off on a good foot. 2021 is going to be better.
Hope so.
Good luck with the pineapple.
We'll see.
We'll see. And then, so then after the pineapple, we get, I believe Tropical's coming out in the spring next year. And then the fall is going to be acai berry. So that should be wild.
Yeah.
And then the late fall offering next year will be a citrus version.
All right. So will the hazy trend ever end?
Oh, God. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, well, I won't go off on my soapbox, but I appreciate hazy New England's. I think, like, from a personal perspective, I'm not a fan of the lactose addition into everything now. I think the lactose addition is definitely, like, I don't know, harsh and mellow a little bit, because it's just kind of like a cheater's way of making things sweet, and we all know Americans love sugar. But the hazies I respect and I love, and I think that they're just like a beautiful side project to West Coast IPAs. And I also think it's like I said, the gateway IPA. It's like, hey, you get people's taste buds primed with this, and then eventually you start to want something more bitter, more crisp. I don't know, but I don't know. I respect them both, but it's an interesting chase that everybody's like, feels like we're on like the wheel running to catch up with like as many hazy IPAs as possible. But there's so many beer styles out there that I think sometimes are underappreciated.
If you get to remove one beer fad from the entire industry, what is it?
I think the lactose edition. I don't know, like milkshake IPA or like lactose. I mean,
Haven't had a milkshake IPA.
No?
I've had milkshake stouts.
Yeah.
That makes sense at least.
That makes sense. Exactly. Oh, no, I'm totally
Those
into
were
that.
great.
And actually, we had Mudbank, which was our, we just had Mudbank. It's gone now, but that's our sweet stout with lactose. And then
Okay.
we have Coconut Mudbank coming out next week. So,
Nice.
I was, like you said, that makes sense.
Or when you're listening to this last month.
Yeah. Check it out. but
Should be
yeah.
on shelves by now.
I know, right? I guess I would say like hazy lactose IPA. I don't know. Milkshake IPA.
Sure.
Yeah.
What is your favorite style of beer?
Oh boy, that's hard. So my original favorite style of beer used to be Scotch ale. Nobody really makes Scotch ale. It's really high ABV. You can only have one, but it's so delicious. But I'd say maybe recently, especially, I've been leaning towards like lighter things, but also sours. I'm really into sours.
Big
Berliner
sour
Weiss.
fans, us.
Yes.
Big sour fans.
Are you? That's awesome.
But Walter got me into it. That's his fault.
Yeah, I like sour saisons, barrel-aged farmhouses, anything like that.
He wants to make
That
that.
take a lot longer.
He wants to
Oh,
make
yeah.
that. He wants to make that funky face every time he drinks something. Yeah.
I love the funk. Give me the funk.
Yep.
I love it. I love like funky ciders too. On that side note,
Haven't had one of them yet.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, like French and Spanish ciders, usually like wild fermented, really, really good. Also, that's a different podcast, so we'll go there later. But yeah, I'm totally into sours for sure.
We got one beer left.
Oh,
well,
boy.
one left on our flight, and then we get into our pint here.
Yes.
Let's keep this going. So this one, and I'm really glad that you not only brought this particular beer out, but gave us the proper accoutrement to go with it.
Absolutely.
We always give a little pre-show questionnaire. We always ask, what's your favorite food and beer pairing? Without giving it all away, why don't you explain to me what we're about to do here?
So, Rausch beer. Rausch beer is an underappreciated style of beer, in my opinion. Also, our head brewer's opinion. This is his baby. We won 2016 and 2017 medals at Great American Beer Festival for this beer.
Back to back?
Back to back, baby. So this beer is a Rausch beer, so it's a smoke lager, Bamberg style smoke lager. Something that I just learned recently from our head brewer, which is, again, a nerdy beer fact, is that back in the day when they first started brewing beer and they were like roasting malt over an open fire, most beers were probably going to taste like this. because there's going to be like a smoky roasted malt that goes into the beer. So most of the time they were pretty much going to be drinking like smoky beer. That was in Germany. And then they had like beer from England, and it like blew their minds. They're like, whoa, they have this beer that's light and not smoky and not roasted. So anyway, I thought that was a cool fact. Anyways, this beer is a smoke lager, and then we decided to pair it recently with a Slim Jim, smoky meat, nice and fatty, but the clean crispness of the Rausch beer and the smokiness is going to pair well with that smokiness of the Slim Jim, but then at the end, the cleanness of the lager is going to cut through that fat. It just goes together like heaven. So if you're into Slim Jim and you're into smoke...
Walter, stop. Get a whiff of this beer. Just get a
I
smell.
love this beer. I have some at home.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, delicious.
It smells like liquid Slim Jims.
Right? It is.
I'm very excited for this pairing.
It's like the perfect fall campfire beer. People buy it. They smoke their meats in it. Yeah, they like make pork roast with it.
Oh,
That's a
I would
great
dump this into a
combination.
chili.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I would definitely dump this into a chili. Save half my spices.
We actually had a chili cook-off like a couple years ago. Slim Jim and Gordon's
That's such a
Burning
cool
is
pairing. That's
the
so cool.
pairing of gods.
It is
So
a great
cool.
pairing.
All right, yeah, we're going to dump this.
Yeah.
Well, you gave us these mini Slim Jims. Walter bought us like these 7-foot Slim Jims that come in like 20 packs.
I didn't know how much we needed.
Yeah, you can never have enough Slim Jim. Let's be honest.
So we're going home with a bunch of these and
Well,
eating Slim Jims.
I've had a lot of smoked beers. Aside from beer, I really like Scotch, and I like peated Scotch. So every smoked beer that I've ever come across, I have to try. I've had Pilsners that were smoked. I've had a sour smoked beer.
Whoa.
This one is actually the best. I
Wow.
don't know how, I guess like the malt bill and everything else like that like works out perfectly for the smoke. Just hold throughout the entire sip.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a mezcal person, so I hear you on the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing was fascinating.
Right?
The beer, the pairing, that was awesome.
I love it.
It's definitely one of
definitely-
my favorites from here.
Acquired taste, but definitely a good acquired taste. I mean, Slim Jim. Need I say more?
Right. Yeah, and I could probably see me having this with like a burger or something like that, barbecue time, where you're just sitting around a fire. You got the smell, around you, and now you got it in your mouth too.
So good. There's something still easy drinking about it for me, but I think that's because I like smoke, but there's something still like refreshing about that beer.
Oh yeah.
I think that's why.
Definitely. All right, so we've got our pint here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, what do we have?
Hell yeah. All right. So this is our warehouse lager. So this beer started off. So long story short, a friend of ours at the brewery that owns a bar was like, hey, can you make us like an easy drinking lager? We're like, yeah, we'll make that for you. And we made it and we sent it to him and like we were like doing a thing and we put some on here and people were like, whoa, what is this? We're like, I don't know, warehouse lager. Whoa. So we're like, okay, we'll make it again. And then slowly we started making it again. And it would just sell out. Like the first night we put the couple of kegs on of this, it was gone.
Wow.
We're like, okay, not thinking too much of it. Slowly over time, people were like, whoa, that warehouse lager, that Mexican lager that you make. Holy crap, I need that. And we're like, okay, yeah, we're going to make more. We're going to crowler it for you. And then finally people were like, yo, I got to buy this 6-pack. I got to buy this case. I need this for the summer. So we're like, I think we're on to something here. So we started brewing it again, and people love this beer. I love this beer. Half of our staff, it's their favorite beer. I mean, it was already a staff favorite, but then when the public response was that it was like their favorite easy drinking lager, hey, this is awesome. So throughout COVID, we actually decided to launch it in cans. That was like a brand new brand that we introduced. And over the last few months, we've started putting in our variety packs for distribution. And then starting in 2021, we're going to make it a core brand. Because this beer, everybody loves it.
It's got legs.
It's got legs. I mean, it's a Mexican-style lager. Mexican-style lager, Mexican style is sort of, like we're emulating something akin to like a Corona or something. Like a Modelo, Tecate. And it's a craft version. I don't want to, again, get on my sort of tangent, but Lagers are harder to make than ales.
This is your show today. You get on whatever soapboxes and tangents you want.
I'm gonna do it. Okay, so lagers are harder to make than ales. If you go to a brewery and they can make something filled with like peanut butter and blueberry and raspberry, like, okay, great. But if they can make a crisp, clean lager, you know they know how to brew, because there's ain't nowhere to hide here. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. You gotta drink a beer that is a good beer. And it's hard to make a light beer good if you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
And so this beer is just crushable, delicious, still has all the flavor, and also delicious with a lime. Who doesn't want a lime in their beer? I mean, I personally do, but...
And it's funny because it tastes like what some people would say like a normal, simple beer, but it's not simple to make, or at least not simple to make well.
I think the challenge is in the simplicity.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And
this is definitely emulating that kind of Corona Mexican style beer, exactly what you said. But it's not having that almost like soapy, like corny, right, that kind of, everything that makes Corona a cheap beer. A cheap beer. This does not taste like a cheap beer.
No. This is, satisfying, refreshing, delicious.
Yeah,
beer.
And I got nothing against Corona. I love Modelo's, I love Tecates, I love stuff like that. Corona in a pinch, but that's just me. But I have absolutely nothing against those kind of beers, and I love like dark, heavy beers. But this is like a little bit more the direction that I feel like I deserve.
Yeah. It's craft version, you know. It's our craft version. We've taken time to really like dedicate time to this recipe and make sure it tastes good, and it's what we want to drink, and it's beer flavored beer. So beer flavored beer, but it still wins out. And a lot of times people are like, I've had 6 IPAs. Well, then, whoa, maybe that's a lot, but maybe not. But then at the end of the day, you just need something that's...
What is this, breakfast?
Yeah. I can get you the breakfast stout next, but... But seriously...
We'll stick around after the show.
Yeah, there we go. And but seriously, it's like something that is comforting, at the same time refreshing and easy to drink, easy to always go back to. It's always going to be refreshing and there for you. I think like sometimes after a while, like with drinking too many crazy beers, then you just want something simple. Sure. I don't know. That's sort of like the bold move, maybe. I don't know.
I think this would definitely get people who aren't really into craft beer or the idea of craft beer to come into this place and be like, oh, whoa, what else do you have?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got plenty of friends and family that just want to grab their buds or their Coronas and just get something they know.
Absolutely.
And like having like, and we keep using the term beer flavored beer, but like having a beer flavored beer that's on a level that these people are probably not used to would get them into the more interesting IPAs and
absolutely
and maybe we can get them into like like a chocolate smoke sour or something super weird.
Yeah, it's the gateway beer, And same with we used to do we still do cream ale, but cream ale was kind of like our sort of simple gateway beer flavored beer. And cream ale is delicious, but cream ale's also love cream ale. Cream ale, I think, also has a sort of, it is slightly different than like a Bud Light, you know what I mean? And so in a way, this is sort of like you said, like the gateway beer to get people in to understand like what actually goes into making this beer, why it's important to buy craft, support craft, and then what else there is to offer for every flavor range. Mm-hmm. I think that's like one thing that we would definitely pride ourselves on. We don't just make one style of beer. We have sours on tap, we have stouts on tap, we have lagers, pilsners, Hefeweizen, we have light lagers. We have a cherry hibiscus wheat, which is like a fruited beer. We have, hazy beers. We have everything. So the list isn't just focused on one thing. I mean, we do pride ourselves on our lagers. We actually have a Schwarz beer on right now, too, a black lager. Super rare, too, to find a brewery that's going to be doing a black lager. But we're really proud of that beer. It's really delicious, crushable, and still something that we feel good about.
I was going to say thanks for being with us and thanks for letting us set up and everything in your tap room. But it looks like you got one more little surprise for us.
Yes, exactly. I can't stop. Once you start pouring the beer, you have to keep going.
Don't let me stop you.
Yeah. So
was I trying to stop you?
No.
I don't remember trying to stop you.
I do have a breakfast stout too, if you'd like, but you could have it afterwards.
You can find pictures of me drinking a breakfast stout over on our Instagram. It's at Flight in a Pint.
Come on down. Like I said,
gotta read those copies.
Yes. So
what do we have here?
We got Blitz Creek hops. This beer has been away from us for almost 3 years. This is the last time I think we're ever going to brew it too. So this is a special West Coast IPA that we make that has a cult following. Blitzkrieg Hops is an amazing name, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a double IPA. It's 9%, 64 IBUs. I just typed this in today, so I remember. And it's going to be big, bold, citrusy, piney. But we changed the hop bill a little bit this time with it. We added Kohatu hops to it. So the Kohatu is New Zealand hop. It's going to add like that tropicalness a little bit. It's going to ease off the pine of those typical West Coast IPAs, typical West Coast hops. And add a little bit more, depth, slightly amp up the citrus bill, and it comes off really well balanced to me, so I will pass it over.
Nice. So this is you're re-releasing this tomorrow.
Yeah, it
okay,
comes
so
out tomorrow.
we are recording this episode. Today is November 5th, 2020.
Yep.
By the time you hear this episode, it's gonna be early December, so this should be out by now.
Yes.
We're coming to you from the past. So so if you guys in the future,
Back to the Future,
go ahead and grab this beer while you can.
Yeah, for real. It's going out for distribution too. So
Okay.
This
The smell is.
it tastes like candy. I like the hop blend in there. It kind of tastes very like sweet and candy-ish.
yeah.
It smells like a pine tree. So a pine tree full
Yeah.
of candy.
So how come this might be the last time that you guys are going to brew this one?
I don't know if I know that answer. I think I think we're ready to retire some
We
of
don't
our.
wanna.
Yeah. Well,
The cult following turned into an actual cult. It got weird.
Yeah, right. And they all got really weird. Yeah, no, that's hilarious. I think it's just that some of our older brands we're trying to kind of retire and bring out of the grave when we need to, and then sort of launch something new. To be honest, this year our head brewer Jaybird, or Jason Rank, we call him Jaybird. Jaybird took over, but Jaybird wasn't our head brewer before, so I think Jaybird wants to expand his wings and kind of take over and do something that he wants to do in a lot of ways. And we're kind of about that. If we stay the same brewery for 8 years, there's no progress. And I think that we're ready to make. Oh yeah, you hear
I
the.
was trying to see what that was.
Yeah, it's so they're mashing in right now.
Okay.
So if you hear the grain in the background, that's literally because our brewer is mashing in right now.
So I explain this every episode whenever something weird happens. So we record these things on site at the brewery. And if you're watching this on YouTube, first of all, thank you and give us a subscribe. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that we're on site here. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or something, you might just think we're in a really shitty studio. But we are on site. We are actually here at Neshaminy Creek. There's about, I'm going to guess about 25 or so people sitting down for beers.
Hell yeah.
You heard the ATM machine going off 3 feet away from us before. I was trying to not bring any attention to it, but here we are.
And that ching 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 is actually the mill that's running. So the silos that are outside of our building contain our 2-row malt. That's a base malt for almost all of our beers.
We try to give you the authentic,
Yes.
real live at a brewery experience.
You are now.
We do this for you, okay?
You're coming
this
down.
Is like beer ASMR.
This is what brings everyone in. This is what they want. They want the experience.
You're traveling down the grain bill into.
Beer ASMR is going to be our next podcast.
I love it.
We'll do a whole bonus episode. You can.
Traveling into the mill. You're now in the mill.
Yeah, if you weirdos out there actually want to hear some beer ASMR on a bonus episode, go follow us on Patreon. We'll do it for you. I've done worse things for $5 a month.
For you.
I've done worse things for $5 a month. Right? So.
I love it. But yeah, that clanging is actually our mill because we are actively brewing. We actually brew up until recently. We were brewing 24 hours a day. Last year, we were brewing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This year now we've been brewing 2 to 3 shifts a day, 5 days a week. So we still brew. We have a morning shift, a night shift. Sometimes we have an overnight shift too. Sometimes we have a weekend shift.
And they don't do 2 at a time.
Yep. So they are just always mashing in, knocking out, doing all that crazy brewing stuff. It's actually a 15 barrels, 2 15-barrel systems.
2 separate 15s. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got to fill this up somehow.
Absolutely.
Gotta keep that thing running.
Yes. It's crazy. So back to Blitzkrieg. That's what we were talking about. So the reason why we might not brew it ever again is because we're kind of trying to grow and expand. I think we all agree that if you say the same thing for 8 years, there's no growth there. You might as well just keep putting the same record on over and over again. It's good, but then sometimes after a while you're like, man, I need something else. Yeah. So we're just trying to grow and expand expand our horizons into new brands, new beers. Warehouse Lager is a brand new beer for us, and people loved it, and they still love it. And then Blitzkrieg, it'll probably make its return at some point, but for right now, we're kind of ready to put that chapter away.
Well, make sure you go get that while you can.
Oh, yeah.
It's delish.
I think that's all we really got, right? Walter, you got anything else to add?
No, I had a great time here. I always have a great time here, actually. But it was
Awesome.
great speaking with you
This
today.
was super high on our list of places to go to when we pitched the show.
Love it.
So thank you so much for having us. Where can we find everything more about Neshaminy, the social media, anything like that? Give us the plug.
Okay, here we go. So our website, NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com. And then our Instagram is at Neshaminy Creek Brewing Co. Facebook pages. We also have the New Hope location too. It's Neshaminy Creek Brewing New Hope _New Hope. All of our information's up there. We have an Untapped page with all of our up-to-date tap lists. So if you're ever coming in, you're like, hey, I want to see what's on tap. Just pull up Untapped. You're going to get a rundown of what is on tap, what's currently available for takeout, all that jazz. And Beer Me as well if you want delivery. Beer Me, type in your address. If we deliver to you, we will come up. We deliver a 25-mile radius from Croydon.
Awesome.
All right. Alyson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was awesome. Beer was fantastic. I love this place. I love looking at the art. Cannot wait to come back when things are a little more back to normal, when we can start making some noise again.
Hell yeah.
We are Flight in a Pint. You can find our stuff at flightinthepintpodcast.com. That'll give you links to all of the places you can go listen to it, as well as a link to our YouTube. If you're listening to us on Apple or Google or Stitcher or anything like that, please give us a subscribe and a rating. If you're on YouTube, please give us a subscribe and a like. Go tell your friends about it is the best way you can do it. And we have a Patreon too, patreon.com/flightinthepint. But flightinthepintpodcast.com, you can find all of our stuff, including some pictures from us here at Neshaminy Creek. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I think so.
My name's Jason Portizo.
I'm Walter Wilson.
We were here with Alyson Melandra over at Neshaminy Creek. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This has been a JTP Audio podcast. Thanks for listening.